Rob Bryanton. It's December 6th, 2007. Welcome back to the Imagining the 10th Dimension video blog. And today we're going to be reading from a new blog entry, which you can also read along with in a text form if you go to 10thdimension.com/blog. And there you will find a lot of the text that I'm reading along with here does have hot links within it that you can click on. And of course you can just read along and see if I mess it up anywhere as well. Welcome everyone. Today the topic is the Imagining the 10th Dimension book and the reviews that have been out there for the book. I'd just like to dive right in here with the blog entry then. It goes like this. Despite a growing audience of visitors to the 10th Dimension website, which is now at over 2 million hits per month, this project continues to fly under the radar of the mainstream press. The only exception to that so far is the article several months ago in What is Enlightenment magazine by Associate Editor Tom Houston. Here is a link to a downloadable PDF of that article, which you can find at 10thdimension.com/WIE_article.pdf. And that, as I say, is a hot link that is right in the blog entry that we're reading from here. Meanwhile, here in the world of the Internet, millions of people have seen and enjoyed the introductory animation, which is based upon Chapter 1 of the book. Since much of the book is based upon the concept of memes, ideas that rise and fall and connect across time and space, and how that relates to the reality we're experiencing, it's been interesting to track the memes that have risen and fallen over the last year and a half since this project vaulted to popularity, as a result of a couple of thousand digs in July 2006 and again in December 2006. Here's a snapshot of the memes that have risen and fallen around this project since it was launched. In July 2006, the website and book became popular around the world. Most common memes about it are, "This is mind-blowing," and "This is not what mainstream science teaches," both of which I believe are valid. September 2006, Lee Smolin's The Trouble with Physics and Peter Woit's Not Even Wrong become popular as books. In the mainstream press, it becomes fashionable to dismiss any discussion of higher dimensions, since they are unimaginable and undetectable. Interest in this project plateaus for a few months. December 2006, the website becomes popular on Dig a second time, and the audience for the project grows. In February 2007, John Brownlee, in his blog at Wired.com, calls our animation absolutely fargin' incredible. And thanks, John. Interest in the book and the project takes another leap forward. In March 2007, within short order, 3 students published very negative reviews of the book at Amazon.com. This book, which is called Imagining the 10th Dimension, A New Way of Thinking About Time and Space, and described in the accompanying text at Amazon as not about mainstream science, but rather a mind-expanding journey that will change the way you view this incredible universe in which we live, receives their negative reviews because it's not about mainstream science. Huh? Despite the book having just as many positive reviews as negative, visitors to Amazon have given more helpful votes to the negative reviews, not surprisingly. So those are the ones you're now first shown by Amazon. In April 2007, the extremely positive review of this book and the project appears in the April to June issue of What is Enlightenment magazine that I've already talked about. June 2007, Clive Thompson, in his gaming blog at Wired.com, gives us a nice mention in an article about games that stretch reality. As with previous mentions by websites such as Entertainment Weekly, Network World, Dvorak Uncensored, and new people are introduced to this site. In July 2007, the project launches a new chat page, which, after a month or 2 of experimentation, settles upon a format incorporating live or recorded video of the author, me, and guests using Ustream.tv, a chat room associated with Ustream visitors, and a second Meebo chat room, which includes the ability to share URLs and YouTube movies in a thumbnail-ordered viewer, with the text from the Meebo chat room also being added to the live or recorded video from Ustream, using a wonderful and free program for the Mac called CamTwist. Persons wanting a simpler, non-interactive experience can watch at 10thdimension.tv. From August to December 2007, month after month, the audience coming to the 10th Dimension website grows. Due to popular demand, the project opens a digital item store, offering high-resolution versions of the animation, which continues to blow minds around the world. plus MP3s of some of the songs associated with the project, plus a PDF of the book. All materials are released under a Creative Commons license because, despite what the naysayers say, this project is not a scam to try to get you to buy a book or a t-shirt. It's about a new set of ideas that are rising in popularity around the world. The animation speaks for itself. People love it or hate it, but a growing number of people continue to be attracted to it. The songs are available as videos for free from Rever.com or on YouTube, or high-quality versions can be purchased as MP3s from our digital items store. The book, on the other hand, does not speak for itself so easily, despite being easily searchable on Google Books. Here, then, is a compendium of brief quotes from various places around the net about this book. From Hugo and Nebula award-winning author Greg Bear, this is the very first quote we had about the book. It was, "A fascinating excursion into the multiverse. Clear, elegant, personal, and provocative." Still one of my favorite reviews. As short as it is, it sums up an awful lot about what we're talking about here. D. Richards, in his review on Amazon.com, says, "Brilliant and unexpected. Written in an easy-to-read style, gets your mind expanding in all the most satisfying directions." LJB, in a review on Amazon.ca, says, "It's refreshing to read a book that is about considering a variety of perspectives, scientifically proven or not." Tom Houston, in his What is Enlightenment magazine article, says, "The simplicity of Bryanton's 10-dimensional model is striking, purely speculative but built upon logical consistency." Court van Gameren, on the 10thdimension.com forum, says, "Your view of time as the dimension above the one which one is viewing is very compelling." W. Casper, in a review on Amazon.com, says, "An excellent structured bridge between geometry and metaphysics. Read it, it's good for you." Kay Fleckoy, in a review on Amazon.com, says, "An imaginative and strangely musical way of imagining superimposed dimensions. It's also pleasurable to read." David J. Zimmer, in his review on BarnesandNoble.com, says, "Freshly imaginative, entertaining and challenging. Caused me to move beyond my comfort zone." In a live journal entry by Spaminator3000, the entry reads, "Covers alternate dimensions realities. An interesting read, very smooth and eye-opening." Again from LJB in his review on Amazon.ca, "If you're a practicing mainstream physicist, this book may well be frustrating in its easy embrace of unconventional notions." Tom Houston in What is Enlightenment, another quote from that, "It's expanding worldviews, blowing minds, and provoking plenty of philosophical and spiritual inquiry as well." Court van Gameren on the 10thdimension.com forum again, "Having just finished your book, I must say you have managed to present the material in a uniquely fresh way." And from D. Richards' review on Amazon.com, "A philosophical journey into what multidimensional space can mean to the three-dimensional self. A book that will open your mind." 16-year-old Nick Kay on the 10th Dimension forum said, "I just got done reading your book. I have to say it was awesome. Parts literally made me stand up out of my chair." LJB in the review on Amazon.ca also says, "Bryanton appears to be one very scientifically and philosophically astute musician who knows a lot of stuff about a lot of things." And Tom Houston, finally, in the What is Enlightenment article, another phrase, "manages to make sense out of more mysteries than any one theory should justly be able to handle." So that's a summary of some of the reviews. The negative reviews are out there as well, and some of those that complain about this not being what you learn if you go to a university physics class are completely well-founded. I'm not going to argue with them. We're talking about something much bigger than that, and I'll just get on with reading from the blog now. Again, if someone is confused about whether I'm pretending to be a physicist after all this, then I'm afraid you're just not paying attention. I'm a composer who has written a large number of songs and a book, all built around a new way of thinking about time and space, which we're playing with in this project. And while there are many ideas taken from mainstream physics and cosmology, this is better thought of as a creative exploration that blends together science, philosophy, spirituality, and metaphysics. Part of its problem, I believe, is that it's such a wide-ranging exploration that it's hard for the mainstream press to decide how to describe what's happening here. even just within the science world. It blends too many competing schools of thought together. For instance, David Deutsch doesn't believe his bush-like branching structure is in the fifth dimension, even though that fits so nicely with the branching idea from the fourth to the fifth dimension as I portray it. Quantum physics doesn't require higher dimensions, it just requires an unobserved fabric of information, which is how I describe the 10th dimension in isolation from the others. String theorists don't believe our universe is a point in the 7th dimension, although they do say our universe is the result of a 7-dimensional brain interacting with a 3-dimensional brain. String theory doesn't equate the bush-like branching structure of probabilistic outcomes with the fifth dimension's curled up at the Planck length description that they often use. Again, even though imagining that our 4D line of time is being constructed from available branches one Planck length away at a time allows us to easily visualize how such a thing could be possible. And of course, many mainstream scientists are dismissive of any way of describing reality that also incorporates other more metaphysical or spiritual ideas into the equation, which are the parts of this discussion we haven't even touched upon here. In the meantime, though, the Internet continues to be its own universe, and the number of people being drawn to this site from around the world through their connections to each other, through the ideas we're exploring here, and the growing feeling that our world is changing is very exciting. Enjoy the journey. Rob Bryanton. So that's the video blog entry for today, and it's something that we've really tried to avoid doing, trying to force the book down people's throats, because this is really more about the discussion of a set of ideas than it is trying to get you to buy something. And as you can see by the massive amount of material that's already available free of charge, I hope people are finally willing to believe that really is the point of what we're talking about here, and that it's not as some people have said, a scam. It's not a scam. It's a way of imagining reality that a lot of people are finding useful. So what I'd like to do to wrap up the last part of today's video log is just to go back to through the chat logs from the last few days again, and this is something that we try and do on a regular basis. As the text is scrolling underneath the picture of me that you're seeing at 10thdimension.com/chat, that's also going into a text log that we can refer back to afterwards. And so even if it appears that there's nobody else in the room right now, please feel free to type your questions and comments and criticisms into that window, and it will be looked at, and we'll try to deal with at least some of them here in future shows to come. So I'm going back now to December 1st, 2007's chat log, where somebody posted a link saying that Richard Dawkins may be charged in Turkey for his book, The God Delusion. And John, who we've talked about before here, just writes back and says, that's whack. Somebody else writes in and just says, what is the schedule for these chats? John writes back and says it's just kind of random, actually, which is true. I do try to keep this window open when I'm working on other things, and even if the video that you're watching is a recording, I still may be watching the window, and if I am, I'll tune in and respond to questions as they come up. But that's not something that's happened for the last couple of days here. I've been busy with other stuff, but somebody the next day writes in and says there's a globalization video that's awesome. That's the other thing that's really cool about this, is whenever somebody posts a link to an animation or a movie, it becomes part of the stuff that you can view just clicking on the thumbnails over to the right and here in the chat window. And it does allow people then to share stuff in what we're calling asynchronous real time. Somebody the following day talks about the last issue of New Scientist magazine, which says that our role as quantum observers caused the acceleration of the universe's expansion, possibly. And this is something that I've talked about. It's a very interesting article, and one of those mind-blowing things that seems to be coming from science right now, which really opens your mind up to the possibilities of just what could be happening here. Somebody posted a link to the Jedi mind trick, which is kind of fun. If you find that one in the thumbnails over to the right, see if you can work through the things that they ask you to do there, and see whether the Jedi mind trick can be pulled on you. Linker writes in and says, have you voted in the current 10th Dimension poll? And I should mention that if you go to 10thdimension.com/blog, there is a poll usually running, and the one that's running right now is about 2012 and whether you believe it's all going to be just another thing that blows over and turns out nothing at all happened, or whether you think 2012 might actually be something very significant that's coming down the pipes towards us right now. So do check on that. A mention here from Linker about the Golden Compass, a drama about the multiverse. I saw that on the weekend in a preview. I'd recommend it highly. It's being criticized as an attack on religion. I viewed it more as an attack on power structures that try to keep the truth from people, and if people within religious communities are saying they don't like to be portrayed as keeping the truth from people, then I'm not sure what that says about the people in the religious community that are saying that. The truth is the truth, and it shouldn't be kept from the people. Somebody else writes in a little later on in the day and says, what is this asterisk, asterisk? Imagining the 10th dimension, and the unseen eye is you and I, they say, which must have been the music video that was going by at that time. And then the person says, you're on drugs, and keep doing them because 10th dimension is genius. I'm actually not on drugs, but there are a lot of people that participate in this who say that there are strong connections between the things that they've seen under the influence of various hallucinogens and this way of imagining reality. I think that's very cool, but it's not really not what this is all about. This is not a drug site. This is a site about imagining reality, and there are an awful lot of pieces to the puzzle that each of us bring to the table from our own experience of how we can view reality, and that is just one of the many. Somebody else wrote in, we're up to yesterday now, is consciousness a dimension itself? This is one of the things that has been talked about a little bit in previous blog entries. One of the things that I've come to portray in this way of imagining is that you can think of the zero as being consciousness, or the quantum observer, or the thing that is ultimately collapsing out from the 10th dimension, the reality that we're currently in. And as one person describing this way of imagining the 10 dimensions put it, in fact it was Gavin Gjorbrand when he was describing this in his book, The New Revision mentions this project, and he says this indicates then that each of us is our own little world. And that's another one of those crazy ideas that really does make sense in quantum physics terms, but also makes sense if you're coming at this from a spiritual side as well, saying that each of us is a reflection of God, or each of us is our own quantum observer. Either are really ways of expressing the same idea. So that's it for the chat logs as far as stuff I want to talk about today. And yes, since somebody mentioned the song The Unseen Eye, that's the song we're going to finish with today. This is one of the 26 songs that are listed at the end of the book, and which videos and MP3s are all over the place if you're interested in seeing them. They discuss a lot of the ideas from this project, and there's something about music that's also a very strong part of these ideas about imagining reality and how everything fits together. And there's something about music as a way to communicate ideas also that I think is really good. There's nothing like a repeating chorus to help to get an idea going in your mind. So that's all for today, and we're finishing off now. Rob Bryanton, Imagining the 10th Dimension and the Unseen Eye.
Spring into our world is what we see. Every choose from entry leads to a long chain from the very first yes or the very first no. All the laws of physics, all the rules of nature divide in an instant by the very first choice or the dice we throw. Though Einstein objected to imagining a God who gambles for creation, the thought was just too odd. But deep within us, in every living creature, there's a connection to the shared consensus of the world we know. 'Cause we know it's the act of participation that gives the world its how and why. So the Big Bang is just an illusion. It's just the opening of the unseen eye and the missing dark matter that binds the universe. The mysteriousness that science cannot find is in the many worlds of possibility that are just around the corner in time. Now the universe of all universes, if the truth be known, is an awful bore, viewed as a whole. But just a tiny shard, viewed from any angle, reveals complexity. It reveals such beauty, reveals the soul. So does it make a difference how we got to what we see? If it's really just coincidence, it's still a wondrous thing. And we know it's the act of observation that gives the world its how and why. So the Big Bang is just an illusion. It's just the opening of the unseen eye. And the unseen eye is you and I. And the unseen eye is you and I. And the unseen eye